We're with Sofia Amaral, a junior on the Eastern Women's Cross Country team. Eastern Connecticut getting ready for its season opener coming up pretty soon at the Trinity College Invitational at Wickham Park in Manchester. Sofia, you guys have been preseason for about 2 weeks. How did the preseason go this year?
Preseason went really well. Everyone came back in very good shape. Everyone came back ready to run. All the freshmen are very friendly. Preseason went really well. I know Coach did a really good job at organizing the events during the week before school started. We went to the beach and we had a barbecue at her place, and it was just really nice.
In general terms, do you think that the team, by and large, came in pretty good shape based on what they did over the summer?
Yeah, for the most part, everyone came back in really good shape. There are a couple people that have some minor injuries, but nothing to be too concerned about.
Can you just talk briefly about, for a cross-country runner, their summer workouts? I know that basically builds the foundation for your whole fall. What does a general daily workout consist of in the summer when you're home?
A daily workout would be mainly trying to get in those miles. Coach really emphasizes us to really get that mileage in during the summer, because without that, the whole season you're really not going to be that good. So she told us to do at least 35 miles a week, and that's what everyone for the most part did, which is good. Personally, during the summertime, we would usually do, I would do like 6 or 7, 8 miles. That's usually the average run I would do during the summertime. So for summer training, it's just long runs for the most part.
And did you say it's every day that you would run in the summer?
Almost every day. I take one day off. It depends on my work schedule, but usually I would run from Mondays to Saturdays, and I'll just take the Sunday off.
When you guys come back for your preseason, your first couple days, and you do your first couple runs, is it pretty obvious to everybody who did the workout in the summer and who didn't? Is it that obvious?
Sometimes it is, because if someone didn't run at all summer, you can tell, especially if it's an upperclassman and they come back and they didn't do any summer training. It's kind of obvious that they didn't do anything. But, so yes, you can tell, but if the person decided not to run as much, you won't really be able to really tell until the first meet rolls around, for example.
Would you think, in general terms, that your teammates and yourself came back in better shape this year than maybe they came back when you were a freshman?
Well, right now I'm a junior, so when I was a freshman, people came back. I know I trained because I'm used to it, because my high school coach really emphasized that summer mileage. But I know Coach Menizza was still a new coach, and she was still new to the program, so she didn't know the girls and the guys that much. So not a lot of people came back in really good shape, and I know a couple people were also injured. But my sophomore, and now this year, my junior year, everyone came back pretty much in good shape and ready to run.
Talk about last year and the year before. You pretty much ran in the top 3. Just talk about the makeup of the team last year, maybe, in terms of who you have coming back from that team for the women.
Well, first I'll talk about who isn't coming back. I know Kelly Labanara, she was our #1 runner, and I know last year she was a little injured, but she came back running great. And Courtney Magaro, she also isn't coming back, and those two girls were really two key players in our top 7. Last year we were really close, though. Our team was really close. So for example, I mean, we can't just say, oh, I'm the number 5th runner or I'm the number 3rd runner, because the next race you would finish a different spot on the team, because we're that close and everyone did their summer training, so you know that everyone is pretty much in the same shape and really good. Just depends on like how you feel, I guess, going into that race.
Yeah.
I know one meet last year, Kelsey Nixon finished, and then it was Courtney Magaro, then it was me. So that's how close we were finishing the races.
One after the other.
Yeah, right after another. So our top 7 was pretty good, and intense in the fact that we always finished literally right next to each other, so we had a really strong team, and we still do this year. So this year we do have some freshmen that are coming in that are expected to kind of take the place of Kelly Labanara and Courtney Magaro. Honestly, no one can really replace them, but they are very good runners. There are some very good runners that are coming into Eastern, and that will kind of help our team still stay as good as it was last year.
Well, you touched on this a little bit with your answer, but a lot of people think cross country is a very individual sport, but for people who run cross country, it's not. Talk about the teamwork involved in cross country.
Cross country, I know a lot of people sometimes think that it's an individual sport, but it actually isn't. It's very team-based because I know when LECs, when that rolls around in New England's, that's when you really want your top 7 to be close and together, and you want to run as a team and help each other out. So, for example, if one girl on the top 5, it's top 7 for varsity, but usually top 5 are the girls that score,
yeah.
And the top 6 and 7 help displace the other teams, so they're important too.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say I'm having a bad race and I finish poorly. Top 6 and 7, it's their job to kind of try to make up for it for our team.
Close the gap a little.
Yeah, and yeah.
So it's big. It's not it's not having a real good number one, or maybe even 2 real good runners isn't enough to absolutely make the team successful in a meet.
No, absolutely not. You can have one really good runner that wins every race. Yeah. But if you don't have those other 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. runners that are also good as well, then you're not going to win any meets and your team isn't going to go far. I know, let's say you're at practice and there's one really fast kid and they want to go out for, they want to go for a run and with the team, but sometimes they feel as if they want to go by themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes they kind of have to think. That's when the team aspect comes in, and they want to think, well, just remember that this is a team sport too, not just individual. And you kind of want to, sometimes on those long runs, you want to stay back with your teammates, maybe run a little bit slower, and that will help them improve, and that improves the team altogether. And usually when the workouts roll around, we usually have our workouts on Tuesdays. That's when that fast person can really go out and work their hardest, and yeah.
So there are times when, if you had a great number one, there are times when that person can get in their work on their own, but the other times they should be running as part of a team, right?
Yes.
How about you have weeks during the season where you go 2 weeks without a meet.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a meet on a Saturday, nothing the next Saturday, and then you have a run. Then you have another meet the Saturday after that. So basically, in between those meets, you guys don't. What would your schedule be when you have 2 weeks off in between? I'm not saying off, but 2 weeks without competition. What would the workouts be on those 2 weeks?
Well, it depends on what our coach decides, because sometimes she changes her mind last minute. But usually we'll still run the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and our off days are always on Mondays, which is nice because we have class, and sometimes we can just come back from class and we can just relax in our room. But if we don't have a meet, we would just go on a long run, and I know some guys, they like to go home for the weekend because we don't have that many weekends off.
Yeah.
Coach will tell them the training wise what they should do for those 2 days, and she'll tell them to make sure to log it on a website called Running to Win.
So just because you guys don't have meets in a 2 week period doesn't mean you're sitting around.
No,
right?
Not at all. No, we're always running.
Would you rather run for training, or would you rather run in the meet? In other words, would you sometimes want more meets? You'd rather run in the meet than just have to go out and train?
I kind of believe in the balance of it, so I don't like too many meets, but I don't like too many practices. You definitely want to get used to running meets. Meets can be stressful, but it's also good practice to get good practice, and you get that experience of running in a meet, and it's just better. It's just the best way. The best way, I think, is to have that 50-50, have some meets, have some practices, because especially if you have too many meets, then sometimes girls will get a little burnt out by the end of the season and they'll run 2 or 3 minutes slower, and that's just not good.
Well, last question, Sophia. The season is approaching. What is your general feeling on, and I know in all sports chemistry is huge to a success of a team. What's your gut feeling on the chemistry of this team?
The chemistry on this team is very good. Everyone on this team loves each other. We're like a big happy family, really. I know the guys' team, like, they're goofy and stuff, and us girls, like, we tend to, like, talk to each other and kind of just help each other out when we're having a bad day. But it's not even like separated too, though. Our team is very integrated, so I know a lot of the girls talk to the guys and a lot of the guys talk to the girls, and I think that's the most important part, because I mean, since we all do the same sport, I feel as if we should all be friends with each other, and that's what we are. We're just a big happy family, basically.
So the Warriors getting ready to open up their season. They're going to be at Wickham Park. It'll be at the Trinity College Invitational, and that will be coming up on September 12th. Sophia, thanks for joining us. Good luck this year.
Thank you.